Okay, so we are live. I am checking right now to make sure that the stream is live. It looks good. So I'm going to send to you in the private chat here. That's a link to YouTube that you can share around. And we are also now live on Twitter. And this is the boring part where we just talk about getting it going. But you know what? This is kind of the fun of doing a live stream. So hey everybody, different sort of live stream today. My name is James. I'm one of the co-founders of Gimbal Labs, and I'm joined today by Ayax, the founder of Innovatio Group. And you know, we're going to talk about the Innovatio Catalyst proposal today. And it was funny. We were just talking before we went live. I scrolled up to the top of our conversation in Discord to find out that we met back in the middle of January as Fund 3 of Catalyst was launching. And my goodness, somebody made the joke yesterday about how a month of Catalyst time just feels like years because so much happens. So many people are showing up. We're all learning so much together. And I know that you and I don't talk all the time, but when we do, it brings a lot of value to me. And thank you for that. And that's why we're here today, is to kind of talk about what you're working on. So just in case anybody here doesn't know, Catalyst is a problem-solving platform. It really, more than anything, right? We start with different problem statements. People have a chance to bring their solutions to the table. And then holders of ADA get a chance to vote to fund projects.
Exactly.
So, Ayax, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the problem you're solving, I think that would be a great place to start.
Of course. Thank you so much, James, for this space. I'm Ayax Labombarda. I'm born and raised in Argentina. I am 20 years old. I'm now living in Madrid, Spain. I know Cardano for a friend who was investing on cryptocurrencies and told me, Cardano was the first cryptocurrencies who invested more than other cryptocurrencies. It's more like a scientific blockchain. And I didn't know that. And I started looking for what is Cardano itself. I know Project Catalyst. And the first guy whom I met was you, who helped me a lot in the first step. So very grateful for that. And like you say, Project Catalyst is an space for present solution for problems in the Cardano ecosystem. And in this case, I have an idea 9 months ago about a crowdfunding platform with blockchain technology. And I start with that idea to develop, to analyze the market, and now how I can implement the blockchain of Cardano there. And we are here 9 months later working in this idea. Innovatio Founder is a crowdfunding platform who has the principal thing is in 3 categories. Because when we think in crowdfunding platform, maybe we think in Podcaster or we think in Accelerator, we think more in the apps. The people who are here in blockchain thinks more in the apps. But in this case, Innovatio Founder is not a the app. It's a website like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Seed Invest. You have a lot of different crowdfunding platforms. That's the principal difference. We have our private database for understanding some names of projects, some administration and that things. But we implement the blockchain technology with the smart contract for disintermediate the payments and investors and the deposit and all that things. The first 2 problems I solved in the crowdfunding platforms was the contract reductions, more in the reward and debt categories. A lot of projects, when the people invest in that type of project, don't receive the same goods or the same service they suppose they will receive. And also in that category, the same thing, because in that 2 categories, you can have more than only one investors. And you don't have a really good contract saying for what they will use that money. So you are only reading, okay, this is a project who produce, I don't know, solar panels, and they need to $1,000. But you don't know in what they will use that. You have problems because I read recently a problem in UK. An investor was presenting an investing of in depth in one project, and the project don't use that money for an expansion in more production that things, and he do a, how you say it, denuncia, how is that, a reclamation. He do a reclamation,
Yeah.
and the tribunal of UK was in part of investor because the company don't use the money raised for that. So the first problem I see, and a big problem, is the reduction of contracts. The investors are not sure for that for what they will use that money. They only have the production or what they will receive in exchange for that, but not have the security of they will receive that. And the other thing is, in the crowdfunding platforms, you can pay with cryptocurrencies. If we are working right now for a massive adoption of blockchain technology, the payment in cryptocurrencies are a lot of important in this case. So that is the two principal problems we intend to solve with our crowdfunding platform.
So exciting. So yeah, I mean, there's this idea of transparency and trust. And I want to go back to something critical that you said there, because this is something that we've been working hard at in Gimbal Labs, is this idea of storage. Where do you store information? And our goal of building purely decentralized apps, one of the big bottlenecks to that is, where do you put the data, right? And so just the fact that you're mentioning that shows the depth of thought that your team has put into this already. And it's an interesting approach to not worry about decentralizing the data storage yet, right? And I think like groups like yours, like Gimbal Labs, this is a chance that we have to show people, okay, what benefits can we get right now from the distributed ledger part, from the smart contract part. And I think it's our responsibility to be really public about the fact that, hey, you know what, the data storage, that is still centralized for now. Here's why, but also here's how we're going to be transparent about that. What have your internal conversations about data storage been like with your team?
Well, we was thinking in that because we have a private database, and that's in blockchain sounds like some shiny or some tricky. The storage of data is a difficult thing in blockchain right now. What we was investing the possibility of do some kind of blockchain for the data storage, but the cost and the efficiency of that right now is not the most important for use. It's not the more efficiency for use. So we think in the most important what we can do in that sense is the smart contract. The most important is the transparency of the money raised. Where is the money from? Who came? That all transactions be the most transparency and security possibility. The other thing that you say is something we need to solve in the future, but right now the thing in blockchain in private companies is something very hard to adopt right now. But the thing of the payments for me is the most important, and the terms of the contract and the commitment on all that things is full transparency and is full secure, and all the investor and all parts can enter there for read that.
Good. Thanks for that. Yeah, and this is, again, the staged approach, right? Getting the trust and transparency first. That's really exciting. So you also mentioned, I mean, so Innovatio is a crowdfunding platform. In one way, I mean, if I was being really crude about it, I could basically just say that it's Kickstarter with crypto.
And smart contract for more transparency, for say something. Right. That's the most important thing, because you can go to Kickstarter, and what I said in the principle, you can read projects and you can invest in that project, but you don't have the security that project will do that, and for what they will do, they will use that money. So yeah, it's like some other crowdfunding website, but with the blockchain technology and with the smart contract. This is for me important because we can do the visibility of, we can implement this now, right now in the financial service, and we can do a lot of parts more transparent, secure, and for all public. So for me, it's the most important. Is say, here's the blockchain technology. It's open source. Whatever can use this, we start to use this. We can start to use this. As for me, it's the principal goal.
It's really amazing. Yeah, and okay, so for me, this has been one of my priorities from the beginning, is giving people who maybe think one thing about blockchain or crypto, right? It's fast money for crooks, that kind of argument, right? And by giving the general public opportunities to engage with something that they already feel comfortable with, they already know a bit about, and then showing them the added layer on top of that. That's why I think yours is such a genius idea, because a lot of people, they know about, whether it's Kickstarter or Patreon or even GoFundMe, right? Like there's a lot of versions of this, and those of us who have been participating in blockchain, we know that crowdfunding is a popular case study, right, for thinking about what smart contracts can do. So I'm not really interested in talking the blockchain crowd into this right now. What I want to ask you next is, okay, I'm just some dude you meet out on the street, okay, and I know about Kickstarter. What do you say to me? Like, what, I know you've already started to say it in this conversation we're having right now, but like, to somebody who is new to blockchain and has kind of this kind of mainstream impression of it, what can you tell me about what my experience is going to be as a person who is funding projects? What's going to feel different?
In this case, we also accept the payment on fiat currency. So we are not only accepting cryptocurrency payments. That is important because if you want to pay with euros or dollars, you can do that. And the experience of that is be more engagement with that project, because you will have an auditory process. So the project will present periodically result. So you will not only support this project or buy this perk for a reward or support this for a personal interest of earn money giving debt. You will do an engagement with that project, so you will be more relationship with that project. For me, that's is a lot of important in the crowdfunding platforms and the crowdfunding system. I don't know if you know about the crowdfunding market in the reward, debt, and equity categories is more than $50 billion. It's more than the market cap of Cardano today. So it's a big chance for Cardano and for the blockchain to show this to the world. So for me, that's the most important for the investor. Not only support a project, if not be more engagement with that project.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. And this is, I mean, this, to me, when we talk about problem solving, this problem of engagement is critical right now, right? As technology has consolidated, right? As more people buy everything they want to from a few giant companies, people get less engaged.
Exactly.
And this, to me, I feel very passionately about this, right? Like engagement with people who are making things, it just makes living more exciting, right? It makes it feel better to be alive when you are participating. And so I do think this goes a long way towards solving big problems. And
Yeah.
so another, I want to ask you another question about this problem. And, you know, in the startup space, ownership is a hard problem. Right? And we're seeing it now, right? One of the conversations inside of Catalyst is, hey, am I safe posting my idea on here? Who are the sharks in the water who are going to take my idea? What do we do about intellectual property, right? And similarly, when a startup takes too much investment, it can be hard to stick to the initial goals of that project because suddenly you don't own it anymore. Oh, and hey, Juan, absolutely, yeah. We'll put a link up there. Thanks for checking this out, Juan. It's good to see your name there. So when we talk about crowdfunding, we are talking about a certain loss of autonomy for a project, right? You're talking about giving other people this participation, but also a say in things. How are you thinking about this question of ownership and autonomy for the people who are actually building startups?
Yeah, returning to your the last thing you say, we are not only building this website because we are really engagement and compromised with the developers and the early consumers who want to enter in the blockchain world, because it's really hard of for example for us, for the Spanish community, to understand how works blockchain. What is a wallet? What is an address? What is an exchange? What is a DEX? So we are not only say we are Innovatio Founder and we want to develop this. We are really compromised with help the people to understand this. And if some dev come with the solidity and say, hey, what is Bluetooth? I want to learn this. Okay, I have contacts. I have these videos. I have these papers. We want to help the people. We have other project who is Innovatio Finder. Sorry, is a platform. We want to do a platform in the future. And right now we have a Discord. We want to foment the collaboration, the mutual collaboration, and the people who want to learn and who want to teach to others. We are really compromised to that. So I want to be clear with that, because it's not only I am here in Cardano because I want to build my crowdfunding platform. It's not only that. That's the most important for me. And yeah, the thing you say is true. Most of the projects, of the apps projects who launch a TICO or some tokenomics systems.
Yeah.
In this case, we decide to be a private company because I don't feel so comfortable with the DAOs. Why not? I think for provide some kind of service, it's better be private, because when you need to take decisions or you need to take a path, if you are private, you will have the all decision. If you are DAO, you need to go a votation and a lot of things. So I think for most for the things of social thing, of help things and other things, it's the better the DAO, because it's the engagement of all the people and it's free and it's public. That's perfect. But we here are trying to provide a service, a good service, an efficient service. So in this case, we don't have right now an idea to launch some tokens for receive funds. We are very sure we need more money than Project Catalyst, like any other projects in Project Catalyst. You can see how Liquid is asking money for a lot of projects, and also Gimbalab and Supplier Mind, a lot of projects. For me, Project Catalyst is the first stage of any type of startup or DApp or idea who wanted that jump and that than the help for start that idea and develop. And in this case, we don't have that problem, because if we will receive funds in private way, we will sell an equity part of our company. But in this case, we will have all private decisions in this case.
Good. I know it's so like Catalyst is this community managed fund, and you're thinking about adding this community funded layer on top of that to really accelerate projects that people want to contribute to speeding up. And before I forget, I just want to put this link in the chat. This is to your Fund 4 proposal here. And we'll also put this in the show notes after. So there's the link to Fund 4. Should I put the Fund 5 one in here as well?
Please, it's better explained for me.
Yeah, good. So people can find this if they are voting in Catalyst right now by looking in the developer ecosystem category. Exactly. Looking for, the name is crowdfunding platform, right? Good. So, I mean, there's a lot deeper we could go in, but I want to go back and highlight this piece. I mean, that you are seeing this as an education opportunity. And we talk about this all the time too, is even defining, like you said, what the word wallet means, right? And really helping people appreciate that. We have a lot of fun with that question in Gimbal Labs, because it's misleading to think it's just holding money. It can hold a lot more than that, right? And you know, the wallet where I hold, you know, I got my driver's license right here in my wallet, right? So we are familiar with this idea, but projects like yours, hopefully some of the stuff we're doing at Gimbal Labs is going to help people get a better understanding of what all the tech does. And it sounds like you have really nice plans to use, again, this idea that people know, crowdfunding, and then teach more and more people about now what's possible, and maybe even help people set up wallets. So
Of course.
really, really cool. What else do you want to tell us about the team that you have working on the project?
Well, I'm very happy with the team. Well, the team I have now, because I started with this idea 9 months ago, with the idea of the crowdfunding system and how we can implement the blockchain here. Like, I am not receiving any type of payments of the people who are working with me, so it's all free time and a lot of effort, and learn a lot too, because Cardano is today we don't have the smart contract, so we need to think which DEX we will implement, how we will do the refund system, and a lot of things. So I'm very grateful with the people who work with me. We are working right now 4 months all together, the 10 people, and I'm very grateful with they, because they learn, they teach each other, and that's the most important. Like, don't receive any payment and see the people working and with the strength of, I want to do this, I want to learn this, is invaluable. That. So we have people in marketing staffs, we have people in backend staff, we have people in front end or design. Of course, we are not professional. You can say I am 20 years old. My partners are they have 18 to 30 years. 30 years, and all are learning in this process. So that is the most important thing for me of my team. We want to take this off, and we are doing this with our heart, sorry, and with our free time and with a lot of effort. And of course, we need to help of other people. I'm always conversation with other projects, see how we can collaborate, how we can produce some documents or some videos, some things to help other people too. So for me, that is the best thing in the path of this development.
Man, I love your attitude about this. It's really good.
Thank
And you with that attitude, you can't lose.
Exactly.
Right? Maybe Innovatio is going to succeed. And if it does, amazing. And you're going to be able to pursue additional layers of goals on top of that. But hey, if it doesn't work, look at all this expertise you are building and the relationships you're building. I mean, you're setting such a good example for people to follow right now about diving in. And I'm just so excited to see what you do with your knowledge either way, right? With this young team. Yeah, Juan gets it. Let's put his comment up.
Thank you, Juan.
He gets it. And actually, let me pull up his question here, just for fun, because I think it will help you reiterate some of the stuff we've already been talking about. So yeah, can you compare Innovatio to Kiva?
Yeah, I searched what is Kiva once. I think that's the principal differentiation, and in the blockchain world, when we think in crowdfunding systems, a lot of people don't know the differentiation in the categories on crowdfunding, because we have crowdfunding on rewards. That is people who are putting money, buying perks for some goods or service. This is and then you have donation category. It's more GoFund or Kiva, because you are helping people and you are not expecting anything in return. That's the principal difference. In this case, we are focused most in business, in reward, goods and service, debt, people who are putting money for a project, and equity is people who are selling the equity of that project. So that is the principal difference with Kiva. We are not here with a donation category. Of course, we will do this open source, all what we develop on smart contracts. So if anyone want to develop their own website and put a donation system of this, is all free and available for that. But in our case, we are focusing more in business, because it's if you see the market side of crowdfunding, is where you have almost all. The category of donation don't reach 1 billion of the 50 billion of all market. So we decide that to go to the business thing, but of course what we will develop, we will be open source. So any wants to take that and do a crowdfunding site of donation, for example, they can take that. That's the principal differentiation. The categories on crowdfunding.
And so right, in addition to building up your knowledge and experience, you are creating tools that other people are going to be able to use. And this is another thing we talk about at Gimbal Labs all the time, right? Yeah,
exactly.
we're doing a few experiments in development, but ideally, whether or not the dApps we are building become things that people use, the tooling underlying those dApps will be available to people to take and run with it. And when I think about all of the people bringing their energy, right, bringing their time, like you're talking about, Catalyst funds a portion of work. It's enough to bootstrap some projects, but you're still putting in a lot of sweat equity, right, and a lot of that time, even once funded. And the rewards of that are that we are building things that people are going to be able to use for a long time, and we have no idea where this is going, right? I mean, we're going to need new categories to describe what's being built, right? We all have a concept of Kiva. How does Liquid compare to Kiva, right? I mean,
exactly.
Liquid is giving people a chance to lend money anywhere, right? And if you combine, what would a partnership between Liquid and Innovatio look like, right? I mean, or somebody who grabs some of the Liquid tooling and some of the Innovatio tooling, right? Sprinkle in a little bit of educational programming from Gimbal Labs, getting people together and talking about ideas. We have no idea where that goes. We have no idea what the real promise of this is. I can dream about it, right? But it's so exciting that over the next few years, we're going to find out how all these pieces fit together and who shows up to build amazing things with it.
Exactly. Yesterday I was talking with my team, the system of the refund, because we will receive payments on fiat and payments on crypto. Yeah. But when we will do the refund, we will deposit all this in each smart contract of each project in a stable token. So we was thinking of HUSD of Emurgo. Mm-hmm. But when we do the swap of, I don't know, if an investor pay in Bitcoin, I need to swap that to a blockchain of Cardano. So you need to solve a lot of things and need to create a lot of mechanisms. And it's like what you said, we are developing a lot of technology, putting open source there, and we don't know what will happen with that in the next days. And it's always on that.
ErgoDex is another project that I'm voting for. I think that's Fund 5, though, isn't it? I got to check. It's hard to keep. Yeah, those guys are doing great work, but that's another tool that we're going to need, for example, exactly. These swaps. And you know, decentralized exchanges, they mean one thing for people who just want to trade and try to skim profits off the top, right? But they also serve this essential role that you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Like just changing, and that's a key part of interoperability, is just being able to move between the value of each chain. Yeah, and it sounds like your refund contract could potentially just kind of become a standard issue thing that anybody can plug in exactly. As they're building stuff. That's really cool.
And it's an interesting system because each investor have their public ID. Our idea is you can connect to the platform with any type of wallet, like PancakeSwap, for example. These are thinking we are trying to solve, because we don't have the smart contract here. We don't know in which tokens HUSD will work. We don't know if they will be compatible with Ethereum or with the Binance Chain, for example. So I sent today to an email to Emurgo for note this type of things to start to solve it in my head. But yeah, that is the most important thing for me. And it's important because you will have, I will put an example. If you are an investor, you will have your public address like any wallet, and you need to solve how you will do when that investor put their money, Bitcoin, you swap to the Ergo stablecoin, and put that in a smart contract. If that the project don't raise the old money, you need to get back the money. And what happened if you connect a wallet in Trust Wallet and that doesn't work with the blockchain of Cardano? So you have a lot of things to solve right now because it's an early stage of the development of Cardano. But it's important to solve all of this thing and think and develop a lot of tools to solve these problems. And these tools, what we are solving, we and a lot of Robin, Jimba Labs, and a lot of different projects, that's the most important for Cardano developer ecosystem.
My goodness. I mean, if we started talking about identity too much, we would go for another hour right now. But
yeah.
this, right? I mean, it's why we've been talking a lot about identity. Let's just dip into that for just a sec, and then we'll close out. But in Gimbal Labs, we've been talking a lot about identity as a necessary foundation, right? We hear about this from IO as well. And before you even get to the tech, there's the philosophical questions about what makes my identity, right? Is it, and why is that important? And how do people self-actualize by having an identity, right? And so much of it comes from my identity is the collection of people I know, the interactions I have, right? But what you're making me think about is, look, I mean, maybe the projects I support, maybe those are part of my identity, right? This is how I signal my values, right? And if I have a self-sovereign identity, if I really own it, I don't have to, this is not like virtue signaling on Facebook or something, and I don't have to share all of it all the time, but I can say selectively, hey, here's some of the projects I've funded. If you want to know about me and who I am, here's some of the places I've put my money.
Exactly.
Right?
It's part of one. It's part of one.
Yeah. And there's a record of that. You can see what I've done, and this is not about showing off. This is about, hey, in order to make professional relationships, maybe you want to know about me.
Exactly.
Right? Where I've chosen to put those priorities. So I wasn't even thinking about that before talking to you today, but that's what you got me thinking of. So thanks. And that's why these conversations are valuable.
All conversation are valuable when you talk freely and you can share things and hear things. That is the most beautiful of Project Catalyst itself. You know a lot of people with not a lot of ideas, a lot of different thinking, people who think different, and hear that people is a lot of valuable. And I love that. It is the most I love of Cardano Catalyst.
Back at you. Same. Did you make it to town hall yesterday?
Yeah, I was in the Zoom and the other rooms. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It was a whole brand new experience.
Yeah, and I love that. I love to share and know people, and it's the most. When you do vacation in some place and you new people and
Right.
and share things, it's the most beautiful thing in the humans.
I agree. I was saying that to my wife last night. I was like, I saw so many new faces today. I didn't even leave my house. Man, we went pretty deep. Well, hey, it'll be really fun when we all get together in person someday to celebrate the work that we're doing right now. I'm looking forward to shaking your hand, Ayax.
We will be a lot of person.
Yes, I agree. We're going to know each other for a long time. Here, should we do one more? Juan has one more question here. Let's throw it up here.
I have a problem. I don't understand what means. Are you doing peer review?
Yeah, that was my question too. I guess what Juan means by peer, yeah, we can catch up with him. We could track him down. But are you having other organizations look at your code to make sure that you're maybe goals?
We look this. I live in Spain, but I have my electronic residency of Estonia because I intend to put the company here. So of course we will have the all process, legal process, all the auditory of the smart contract. So that will be all secure, because we need to be with this legal things. That's why we will start in the European Union, because it's where it's the well, it's the union.
Yeah, you got it.
It's the most easier. It's more easier than United Kingdom or USA. You know how it's the seg with this kind of thing in the crypto. So yeah, in that you can be sure all will be audited, all will be public. Like I said, when we do the refund system and the smart contract will be open source, so any can check that and can see that. So in this case, we are very, very compromised to do a secure system and secure platform. I am a person who believes when you lose the trust, it's the most difficult to recover.
You can't. That's right. That's right. Yeah, and Juan is saying that in the chat. Yeah, others looking at your code, pinpointing issues. I'm so excited for all of us to have access to the Alonzo testnet when it's fully out. I know that some people are testing that right now. It sounds like that's going really well. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, this first wave of dApps that's coming in the fall, we get to start testing those pretty soon. And I know that here at Gimbal Labs, we're going to be playing with a few things on testnet, just playing around inside to make sure it works. Hopefully we can break all the things before it's live on mainnet, and we can deal with that trust issue, because you're exactly right.
Yeah, also I'm talking with Buden Bersman, and he's doing some type of crowdfunding smart contract, and he's testing, I think, in the private testnet. But when that will go public, we are trying to see in which language, if Flow, because in the future, you have our principal code is Bluetooth, but you have also Globe. So we need to testnet for try a lot of things. But in this case, I want to be very clear. We will do all open source, all transparency, all legal, because we are a private company. We are not a DApp. We need to register in the in the European Union and solve all license and that things. Only the license for operate this platform in the European Union costs 20,000 euros. Launch this platform will cost more than $1 million with market things. So that's why I say the project Catalyst is a lot of important to the first how you will say the first
step.
The first step, yeah, exactly, the first step, and the first energy, but because when you see the people is okay, this is good, this is a good idea, we need this for Cardano blockchain, and they receive that first step, and then well, it's amazing. But of course, for me, all projects of this kind of scale, like Liquid, I say, like Player Mint, and a lot of great projects on Cardano needs more money, and for me, present this project for this project who do the first step in the project Catalyst and get a market validation in our crowdfunding platform, getting investors for all world and all our currencies is beautiful for me. That's what I intend to do with the Cardano community, and also what I say to help consumers, developers, and entrepreneurs to start in this beautiful world what is blockchain.
Those are good final words. Yeah, I'm going to put this link on the screen again. Obviously, I don't think you can click on this, but this link is in the chat, and we'll put it in the comments for this video, and we'll pass this video around. I'm excited to re-watch this conversation we are having a year from now and see what it sounds like to us. So, well,
me too.
Much more to come. Ayax, thanks for reaching out to have this conversation and for sharing deeply today. It means a lot, and I'm really excited that we're on this journey together.
Thank you so much, you, James, for your space, for your time, and good luck with Gimbal Labs. I talked with Roberto too. A great work, a great person, and thank you so much also for what you develop for the ecosystem and for the people.
My pleasure, my friend. All right, everybody, go vote if you can. Make sure to check out the crowdfunding platform, and we will see you all soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.